Okay, so bottom line, you need to get over yourself. You just need to get over your bad self. Especially if you're watching this and you're an adult performer. I do have some kids watching this, and maybe they'll understand what I'm saying. But for those of you that are over the age of 7, you need to get over yourself when it comes to learning new skills. And we'll talk about that in this episode of the VO Heroes podcast. I believe the last name is pronounced simply Szasz, but Thomas Szasz was a psychiatrist who, in his later years, began to doubt some of the tenets of his area of expertise, of psychiatry. And he wrote a book called Words to the Wise. And in that book, there was a very specific quote that I want to share with you that may explain some of the terror that you feel when you go to start learning something new. What he said was, every act of conscious learning requires the willingness to suffer an injury to one's self-esteem. That is why young children, before they are aware of their own self-importance, learn so easily, and why older persons, especially if vain or important, cannot learn at all. Now, I don't know about the absolutism of that, because I've got plenty of clients and students who are, senior citizens, octogenarians, nonagenarians. I've got older people who are able to do this, but it's a very common thing, especially because as we get older, we are rewarded both monetarily, socially, emotionally, intellectually by knowing things, by being capable, by knowing what not to do, right? And so when we go to learn something and we're told, yeah, what you did there wasn't good enough, let's try it again, that can be a little insulting. That can be like, well, wait a minute, don't talk to me that way. That's disrespectful. But it's not disrespectful. It's not disrespectful. When I first started taking acting lessons, I was 46, I think. And it was very clearly stated in the orientation at Howard Fine, when you're given feedback, when you're given notes on your performance, don't argue. Don't tell me why. Don't defend your choices. Just say thank you. Later, you can decide whether you think I was full of crap or not. But don't argue during that moment. This is me giving you advice that you've prepaid for by giving me money. You've paid for this, so just let me get it out. And you can go off on your own and wonder whether or not I meant it with ill will, which I won't. I never mean my voiceover storytelling coaching with ill will. I'll say, hey, let's try this a different way. I don't think you heard what I was saying, or consider this. I have nicer ways of saying things than some coaches do. But the fact of the matter is that it's on us as human beings to remember that when we're kids, we don't know what we don't know, and we don't care that we don't know. And it's not an insult to us when somebody corrects us. We hear no as a child, and it might be, negative as opposed to positive, and we might even cry over it. But it doesn't hit us the same way as it hits us when somebody says, that wasn't good enough as an adult. That wasn't correct as an adult. Like, imagine how you feel when you're pulled over for a driving infraction. All these emotions come up. All these social things come up. There are whole websites dedicated to how to speak to a cop who pulls you over. We have all this emotional baggage around criticism. And it's because we're advanced. We're supposed to know better. We're supposed to be more accomplished. And in our world, writing, voiceover, acting, performance in general, if we go to learn something and we don't execute it as well as we could, and our coach gives us corrections, it can land in a way that is sometimes hard to deal with. All I ask you to share with yourself is, in the grand scheme of things, being corrected about an acting choice or being guided by a voiceover choice or getting criticism about something you've written, not a big deal. Leave your pride at the door when you go to learn something new, right? Allow yourself to have an open mind, be an open book that can be written in very easily. Really take a moment and remember you're learning something. You're not being, chastised and it's going on your permanent record. You're learning something. You're trying something. Did it work? No? All right, let's try something else, or let's try something a little different. Be like a kid. Have fun with it. Enjoy the process of learning how to do something better from somebody who knows what they're doing, from somebody who's got your success in mind. All right? Listen to the words of Thomas Szasz. Rewind it if you want to listen to it again. If this is something that you've heard other actors complain about, I went to class the other day and my coach was like, what a jerk he was. Maybe you want to forward this to them and let them know it's their adultness that might be getting in the way. Hit the like button if you like what you're hearing. You can subscribe to the channel, and you can even hit the notification bell if you want to, and we'll let you know when the next episode comes out. And again, I'd like to know what you think in the comments below. Tell me what you think about, if this rings a bell for you, to how you receive criticism, guidance, adjustments, etc. from the people who are teaching you how to be a great creative talent. Let me know in the comments below on VOHeroes.com. That's where the conversation is saying. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm David H. Lawrence, the 17th. I thank you so much for watching and for listening. And I will see you in the next episode of the VO Heroes podcast.